green light flashes on the control tower. That's the sign. It's our turn to go now. We're fourth to go, and the whole of our 4 engines are giving out a full-throated roar as we start to slowly gather speed down the 1.5 mile long runway. Ahead of us, the 3rd aircraft already airborne. We can see the port and starboard lights shining like red and green stars in the dusk. We are racing to join it, gathering speed now all the way past the control tower. Just a little group of our ground crews giving us away as we disappear now, moving rapidly all the time. I'm just looking up, we are still on the ground. It takes all this time to get off. But now, at long last, there we go, we are clear. We're airborne and on our way to join the stream of bombers making towards Berlin.
Okay, chaps, we're at 8,000 feet now. Oxygen's on. Hello, navigator. Hello, bombardier. We're crossing the coast now. Thank you. Bombs fused. Bombs fused. Hello, navigator. Skipper here. Nav lights off. Thank you, Skipper. Hello, Skipper. Hello, rear gunner. It's all nice to pass in on the starboard quarter. Fire away, you dear rear gunner. It's about 500 yards. Okay, just watch him, will you? Okay.
I'm standing forward at the pilot's seat, and right forward of me, Bill, a 6-foot bomb aimer, is curled up in his compartment, surrounded by perspex stars. But right in front of me sits Scotty, our little flight engineer. Again, the pilot sits by him, the green glow from his instrument panel just lighting up the outline of his face. And then behind me we have a blackout curtain, and behind that curtain Con, the navigator. He's an Aussie from Brisbane. He's just got his ruler out over our maps. Sparky, the wireless ops, in his cabin behind Con. He's keeping his eye on Reg Pitley, our BBC engineer, with just a tiny pinpoint of light to help him cut this disc. The first time a disc was ever being cut in a bomber heading for Germany. Then behind Red, we go out into the darkness of the long fuselage of the bomber. There we've got our mid-off upper gunner, and he's the last man I can see. Just the outline of his head in the little glass bubble of his turret. There's one man out of sight, Dev, the rear gunner. He's a Sussex farmer. He doesn't say much. They don't. From him on the intercom is everything okay, Skipper, but that's a very comforting sound, because when Dev says it's okay, it is okay. Now and again, as we watch the flak, the bright light winking in among the heavy concentrated beams. They've got every single searchlight you could possibly imagine out there to catch us. And in a moment it'll be our turn to pass through them. The dark shape is going out ahead of us. Another Lancaster will lead in. There goes some flak again. They must be having a go at us, all right. All the time we're moving in. It's disconcerting to see that welcome waiting for us. I'm watching my... They've caught one of our aircraft. Up goes the flak around him, bursting in vivid flashes. Maybe after us, because the searchlights are starting to move away. They've left that... Yes, they've left that other bomber, and they're moving now slowly towards us, feeling for us all the time. They're pumping up the flak in a steady stream. They've swung away from us now, swung back. I for one are not a bit sorry. There goes the flag, bursting always in that cone, and the searchlights starting from vivid white pinpoint, moving all the time, trying to follow that bomber. Again they come bending, a whole lot of them. They seem to bend away towards us, following a master beam. We are moving away to starboard, and it looks as if this time we've slipped through. The first thing we can see now is a wall of searchlights. Not the 30 as we saw as we came into the coast, but they're in hundreds. It's a wall of light with very few breaks. And behind that wall was a pool of fiercer light. It's glowing red and green and blue. And over that pool there are myriads of flares hanging in the sky. That's the city itself. And there in the heart of the glow there goes a bigger red flash, the biggest we've yet seen. That must be the first of the big 4,000-pound bombs going down. It's black coming up at us now. That one went down, and it's pretty near to me. Our aircraft rocked. So we're running straight into the most gigantic display of fireworks in the world. We're due over our target. We're 2 minutes time, and Bill, our bomb aimer, is forward. He's lying prone over his bomb site, and the searchlights are coming nearer now all the time. There's one cone split again, and then it comes together. They seem to splay out at first like the tentacles of an octopus waiting to catch you. And this time as they come together, they've got a Lancaster right in the center. It's up to us. It's getting too hot with these searchlights, and we're starting. Our pilots put the nose of the Lanc down, and we're tilting away a furious angle. Up comes our starboard wing. It's hitting that Lancaster now.
Hello, engineer. Skipper here. Yeah? Will you put the revs on, please? Yeah? Okay, keep weaving. A lot of searchlights and fighter flares, Skipper. Yeah, keep on. Okay, boys, okay. Bomb doors open. Hello, Bombardier. Okay when you are. Bomb doors open. Bomb doors open, Bombardier. Right. Keep weaving, Ken. Steady. Steady. Right a little bit. Bomb's going in a minute. Bomb. Right. 1, 2, 3. Bomb's still going. Hey, Jimmy, try to behind us, boy. Bomb steady, man. Hurry up, Jimmy. I'll remember. You can... Where is he, Red Gunner? Can you see him? Down! Down! He's come down! He's come down. Did you shoot him down? Yeah, he's got him, boy. Right in the middle. Bloody good. Bloody good. Right about taken. Keep waving. There's some black coming at me. Okay, don't shout all at once. Alright. Photograph taken. Okay, photograph taken. Hello, Skipper. Will you turn on to 081? Right, 081, navigator. Don't all speak at once now. Keep quiet, it's okay. Okay, hello, Miss Gunner. Did you recognize that fighter you shot off? No, I didn't recognize it, but it's definitely going down now. Good, Jimmy. I can see him, boy. Good show. I can see him now. Yeah, I'll see him burning. Does he look lovely? Good show, lads. Now keep your eyes open. Okay, Ken. Now then, lads. They're certainly putting some stuff up, Skipper. And they're putting a lot down as well. There you go. Okay, Reg. Still cutting, Skipper, Reg. Okay, Reg, thanks a lot. My God, that looks a bloody good show, doesn't it? Yes, it's certainly good playing. Keep your eyes open, mid-upper. Very good, Skipper. Some club's jettisoned his incendiaries over there. Do you see it? It's a Lanc, I believe. Yes, it's a Lancaster. Why? No, it's a Lanc. Hello, mid-upper gunner. Hello. Watch that lane that's just above us, will you? Yes, very good. He's diving away. He's going over the port. By the living Jimmy, she's a wizard, Frank. Look at the stuff going. David must be dead. Oh, it's the best crane I've seen for a long time. They're still putting some tracer up, but there's not much coming besides that. No, not too much nattering, lads. Right down. Keep a good look at the Lancaster coming up right behind us. Yeah, right behind. Lanc, how far away is he? How far away is he? About 500 yards. Yeah. Okay. He's seeing us, I think. Okay, Deb, I can see him. Thanks very much. Let me know when you get around on the course, Skip. I'm on course now, navigator. Thank you, Skip. 357. 357, that's correct.
There it goes, our first sight of England, just a little light from a beacon flashing up to us from the darkness below. And after the glare of light we left behind in Berlin, it seems small and frail. Nevertheless, everybody on board F for Freddy is mighty glad to see it.
Hello, Bombardier. English coast should be coming up now. Will you tell me when we cross it, please? Okay, navigator, I'll let you know when we cross it. I can see it coming up ahead now. Thank you. Nav lights on, Skipper. Okay, navigator. Nav lights on. Hell, Phil, do you see what I see? I can see the new moon through the window. Oh, don't worry about that. It's only Perspex anyway. Oh, Perspex. Maybe you got something there, chum. Hope so. My knees are singing the second chorus of Annie Laurie. Skipper Reg, can't our good friend the engineer give us a little bit of a song? Jock, go on, give him a song, will you? No, I wouldn't wait for some anybody. Go on, Jock, don't be so bloody bashful. You'll never live it down, Jock. It's not a case of being bashful. Come on, Jock. Oh, no. How about Popeye? The praise upon me, where early falls the dew, and 'twas there that Annie Laurie gave me her promise true. Go on, you carry on now, Jock. No, Scotchman, and he won't carry on.
I'm standing in the heart of the Nottinghamshire countryside, rich agricultural land, and the crops are ripening, and there's a summer haze over it all. It's so quiet, peaceful, not a sound. But I'm haunted as I stand here by a sound which I first heard on September the 3rd, 1943. That's a sound that nobody will ever hear again except on record. The roar of a squadron of Lancaster bombers taking off from an aerodrome here in the heart of Brittan. The aerodrome is a place called Langer, and here I am standing in it now because I was in one of those aircraft. I went thundering down the runway. I can see it's still there over the hedges. It's getting a little moss-covered now, and part of the assembly area is still used as a light aircraft runway, and there's an air sock trailing rather limply. There's hardly a stir of wind. But in those days, I had arrived here, sent by the BBC, to go and bomb, well, we hoped, a vital part of the Ruhr, Berlin, we didn't know. And why did the BBC pick this place and me of all places? Well, the story really goes back to the early days of the war, when the BBC naturally were mad keen to get a recording of people in action. But how on earth were we going to take the BBC recorders of those days into action? Because they were cumbersome. We used to cut acetate discs, and you had to drive the disc round by vast collections of batteries. And then at last, the RAF came forward with a suggestion. Coming into service were now the new big Lancaster bombers, and they could afford space in order to take an engineer and a commentator into action. And I was called in, Michael Standing called me, and he said, I think you've been selected to go on an air raid. So your engineer, Reg Pidsley, I can see Reg now coming to see me. He said, there's a go, he said. And, well, I was a certain thrill in my mind. So we came here, first of all calling at Grantham for the headquarters of the squadron, and then they said, you're assigned to Langer. I'd never heard of Langer before. Oh, the memories come crowding back as I stand here in the summer sunlight at Langer. But, you know, memories can play you false. After such a passage of time, well, the whole action has become almost like a great drama to me, in act after act, with myself obviously in the centre of the drama. But are these memories really accurate? I thought I'd better check up before I came to Langer. And I went to the Air Historical Branch of the Ministry of Defence, and they've kept meticulously the details of every air raid that took place out of Britain. It's a marvellous historical collection. And Air Commodore Probert, he turned up the records of our very raid.
We've got here the operations record book of the squadron that you flew with, number 207 Squadron. And the record of each crew is spelt out in detail in this book. And we can find here the names of the 7 members of the crew. And in fact, the writer did a very good job, as he's got your own name in here as well as having flown on the sortie. The account records the raid, and this is from the point of view of the squadron. It calls it a bombing attack on Berlin. The target was attacked at 23:31 hours from 20,000 feet with one 4,000-pound and 2 SBCs, 150 times 4 pounds, including 2 SBCs, 16 times 30 pounds. And so on. It describes the weather over the target. There was good visibility. Yellow track markers were observed. A timed and distance run to target where red target indicators were seen, green target indicators were seen, and in bomb sight the bombing was concentrated. Red fires merging into one very large red fire. The glow visible from the Swedish coast. 3 large explosions seen. The window dropped. A good prang and successful trip. Sortie completed.
Sortie completed. Well, you might even have added wizard show. But indeed, that's just how we spoke in those days. It seemed a natural language to do. And I'll never forget, when we first went to Grantham, we went there to the group headquarters, and they said, all we ask you is say and do exactly what you see. Don't put any trimmings on it. Tell the truth. And then we came on here to Langer, where we were introduced to our crew. And I know the roll call, we shook them by the hand: Devonish, Bray, Stewart, Sparks, Fieldhouse. I'll not forget those names. And as Stewart, he didn't survive the war, but the others, they had their decorations, brave men all. And at their head, squadron leader Ken Letford, well, he collected the DSO, DFC. He was so cool and calm. And I mean, I felt an old man because I was in my 30s then. And here were these young, such authority he had. And I gather he must have been about 22 at the time. And yet he had that crew in his hand. And we had a marvellous sing-song. Went to the mess that evening and we played the piano and we sang rude RAF songs. And I suddenly thought halfway through, we might be flying over Berlin tomorrow. And I said, what am I doing here singing rude songs? I remember one about there's many a Lancaster back from Berlin, bound for old Blighty shore, carrying its cargo of terrified men, all scared and prone on the floor. And it ended up with a triumphant, for heaven's sake, give Margate as our next target. And as for Berlin, bless them all. Oh, words to that effect. And as we ceased singing, it's about 12 o'clock, Ken turned to me, we were just going out into the darkness of the blackout to the hut just over there. That hut's still there where I slept. He turned and said, we're operating tomorrow. And next day, of course, there came first of all the briefing, like a school class, all being assembled in Berlin, just to be. My heart went down again. And then the ritual of going out to inspect, test flighting in the afternoon and installing our gear, and Reg putting it in the Sorbo, on the Sorbo seat, which lies in the darkness behind the pilot and underneath the rear gunner. And I remember there was a smell of acid drops all through that aircraft. And then the final kitting up. We were given something to eat. And it was just marvellous in those days. There was an egg. Bacon and eggs was marvellous. It was known as the operational egg. And I said, this is terrific. And Bill Bray said, wait till you see what you got to do to earn it. And then we went to the kitting up, armouring ourselves like knights of old, just like King Arthur's Round Table, all in rubber and plastic, of course. And as we kitted ourselves up, I remember Bill nudged me and he said, the crew next door were kitting themselves up alongside, said, they'll never go. They're not going. The pilot, they knew, and everybody knew, had lost his nerve and had turned back on the previous raid. 10 to 1, he was going to turn back again, and I looked at that face of a man, the frightened man, and something frightened in me too. I thought, can I go? And yet out we went. There was no turning back. And they took me out, placed me in my aircraft, showed me with my oxygen mask all fitted up. There was I, totally committed, waiting for the signal to go thundering down that runway. Darkness falling, dusk coming, fully briefed. And well, I'm going to relive that raid exactly as it happened. Of course, we couldn't fly directly to Berlin today. The air corridor's controlled, as you know, and we had to go by commercial aircraft on a set route. But let's get into our aircraft again. I remember its name now, F for Freddy, and relive with me that raid over Berlin.
Okay, chaps. We're at 8,000 feet now. Oxygen's on. Hello, Skipper. Bomb aimer here. Oxygen on, okay. Okay, bomb aimer.
Engineer here, Skipper. Oxygen okay.
Okay, engineer.
Navigator okay, Skipper.
Okay, navigator. Wireless upper okay, Skipper. Okay, wireless up.
Mid-upper okay, Skipper.
Okay, mid-upper.
Rear gunner okay, Skipper.
Okay, rear gunner. Thanks very much.
Hello, Skipper. Will you turn onto course 105 magnetic?
105 magnetic. Okay, navigator.
Thank you.
Turning on now.
I would like to welcome you on board this Hawker Siddeley 748, which is under the command of Captain Ash Patel. The flight time to Amsterdam is estimated at 1 hour and 25 minutes, and we shall be cruising at an altitude of 14,000 feet.
And now we're at 13,000 feet and we're approaching the English coast. And how vividly it all comes back to me. At the moment, we're riding comfortably. There's sunlight, there's a little cloud base, but I can see the sea coming up below us now. And Everything has been comfortable. I've been sitting in a seat. People have been offering me drinks. People have been telling me to relax, to make certain I got my safety belt strapped. And I remember, well, so many years ago, when we came up to this very spot, dusk was falling, a single searchlight was wavering in the distance to guide us out, and I looked behind, and as if a giant flight of fireflies was rising in the sky. Aircraft or aircraft, still with their lights on, because as soon as we crossed the English coast, out went the lights, darkness fell, and then ahead of us lay the menace of the Dutch coast. And now, a lovely clear sky, little puffy clouds, a glimpse of the sea, blue beneath us, and the Dutch coast lying ahead, welcoming. It wasn't welcoming in those days.
Hello, Bombardier. Will you give me crossing coast, please?
Roger, navigator. I'll let you know in a few seconds.
Thank you.
Hello, navigator.
Hello, Bombardier.
We're crossing the coast now.
Thank you.
Bombs fused.
Bomb fused.
Hello, navigator. Skipper here. Nav lights off.
Thank you, Skipper.
As we came near the Dutch coast, I started my first live commentary. A strange sound when I play it back again, because what happened was that there was a slight adjustment of my oxygen mask. We had a BBC microphone fitted into it, and of course I didn't realize I was speaking with a certain amount of oxygen leakage, and my voice sounds strange and slow, almost artificial. I remember when Val Gielgud heard the whole thing back, he said, "My dear chap, it sounds most operatic."
Now and again, as we watch, see the flak burst away among them, a bright light winking in among the heavy concentrated beams. They've got every single searchlight you could possibly imagine out there to catch us. There goes the flak again. A winking burst again up among the searchlights. They must be having a go at us, all right. I'm watching counting the time, watching the hand on my watch creeping round. I know that it'll be our turn in exactly 3 minutes.